And you said that you felt that you couldn't have made any other course of action other than the recommended one. Otherwise, that you would have displeased the Cabinet Secretary, and that was not something that was acceptable. Is that sort of the fair characterisation of what happened?
No, I don't think it is. I don't think my role is to please or otherwise the Cabinet Secretary.
Well, I guess what I'm trying to ask is do you felt you had any other course of action available to you other than what had been recommended and requested?
Because the issues were characterised in terms of process, then I had to make a judgment as to whether or not those process issues could be dealt with, and hopefully, as I said earlier, create a more conducive atmosphere to the return of the Chief Constable. As I assessed at the time, I thought those matters could be resolved relatively quickly, and therefore I decided that the best course of action was to pause and see if we could resolve those issues.
The reason I ask is that yesterday the Cabinet Secretary said that if you had not acquiesced to his request, that he would have felt compelled to invoke his powers under the statute to direct. It just strikes me that under that situation, you really would have felt that there was no other course of action.
Well, if he invoked his powers, I mean, he is the Cabinet Secretary, and therefore he can override in that situation. I think that's a very big step. But you have to also recall, it's not from my point of view, I had already resigned. I was in the last 2 or 3 weeks of my departure. If I thought that was the right course of action, I would have felt obliged to do it. And therefore, if it was a case that it had to be a political decision, not for the return of the Chief Constable, then that would have been clear, and everybody should understand that. What I don't think is correct is that somehow that it's pushed back to the SPA in a situation where I don't think now it's clear what the basis of the Chief Constable's current absence is. That's not the risk of an interpretation or perspective or presumption that there has been some sort of political decision, but it's not overt, is not how it should happen. If the Cabinet Secretary wishes to make that direction, then he should make it.
If you could wind up, please.
I mean, I'm just really trying to. I would be interested in your opinion of what you really think the difference between a request and a direction is, whether or not that's a direction in the formal sense or otherwise.
As I said, he didn't request that. He said that he thought that there were steps that we should be taking before it should take place. So my judgment at that point was that we could do those things.